after being bitten, pecked by a radioactive bird, somewhat mannered T. Todd Hill was possessed to become Kinneas, the Skydude. This is adventure number 157. So thank you for tuning in. All right. So this is one of those episodes that start with us in the future. This is the future. And a place we're going to be later. And that's the cover art. It is a citadel. Right? So we'll be back here shortly. Put the camera around. Okay. So I needed to find someplace interesting, one of the landmarks that we would see, and use that as cover art. So let us go back to the main menu. Oh, something is missing. Ah, there we go. So this is our flight plan today, or will be. Sometimes when I load in, here, we don't immediately get, it doesn't pop up the option to load things in. I find that weird. So if that happens to you, go back out to the main menu, come back into the world map, and you're looking for this to appear. Space, more. That will allow you to load a save. Okay. Yeah. So here we are at Peronne, St. Quentin. Gonna travel north a bit. We do have a Neofly job attached to this for like 21,000, I think. All right. These were points earlier. They were showing up as landmarks. All of these are a landmark along the route. That's interesting that it doesn't show them to us now once I've loaded the plan. Or it's taking its sweet time to work itself out. And Microsoft, sometimes I don't know what you're doing, what you're thinking. So I guess if I were to go back out to the main menu without having the flight plan open, you would see all the different names on the route. What they are, well, you do not have to go to my own description. Oh yeah, speaking of timestamping in chapters yesterday, all my times were off. I got that completely wrong. I was keeping time on someplace else. So what it says here is that we have a Canadian National Vimy Memorial, Citadel of Lille, which I believe we were just at, Staud Pierre, Mauroy, Tournai Cathedral, and then we hit Brussels, Palais de Justice in Brussels, National Basilica of the Sacred Heart, King Baudouin Stadium, the Atomium, Palais de Justice Antwerp, Cathedral of Our Lady Antwerp, Museum Aan De Stroom, Antwerp Docks, approach landing, Neofly, get paid. Something's missing again. Sorry. It's like, I'm over here in the corner, man. You need to stay on. That's your job. Background music is Hio Hio by Arthur Yoria. If he ends up licensing this one, or putting it up, it becomes a super big hit. Just this little repeating thing here. He'll like own all of my content. A hostile takeover through a music background, bed music. Copyright issue. Don't do it, Arthur. God's sakes, man. All right. Let's fly this thing. Oh. I really thought I was organized this morning, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm like, oh, got the whole thing planned already, and they had the cover art made, and I'm good to go. No, you can always do more planning. Better prepared. I'm usually running under the gun time-wise. But I actually had the time today, and I was so proud of myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I got all this done. And no, there's still some things I should have done, and I'm trying to quickly do now. Let me go ahead and click fly, at least get something changing on the screen.
Hello, pilot.
Neofly.
On the books for you today.
We have a job.
Let's go. Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
What are you talking about, Willis? Really? It should be. We should be this job here. EHWO. Oh? Okay. But it won't allow us to take a job unless we're stopped. We have no cargo. Starting out with a problem. That part of Bushtalk is done. Well, let me quickly shut down the plane, or put it into a state of, well, that, and then see what happens over here with Neofly. We're desynced somehow. It's just that we're at the right airport. We just took that job. That one for 21,000.
Transporter from dispatch. I see you asked for a fragile cargo mission. The ground crew is waiting to carefully load the crates for you in the parking.
Oh, we're not gonna make it.
Transporter, loading has started. Stand by.
So it ended up being...
Cargo is loaded. You can start your mission.
Oh my. So it ended up being a fragile cargo mission. No, a timed and fragile. So that usually means you just got to take off and go straight to your point and not mess around. And that's not the flight plan that I set up between here and there. I'm like, okay, we'll get there, but we're going to go north and check out these points, and go south and check out these points for the viewers. So this might end up being a freebie from Skydude. But we now know that it's working. So, yeah, apologies. I didn't, you set everything up the best you can. That one kind of wasn't my fault. All right, well, that's mucking about. Let me go ahead and set the autopilot controls. And nav is set. Like something's wrong with that throttle again. Do we have a bad throttle? Yeah, because I can't pick up any speed. Another problem on our adventure. What is causing the throttle to not go full speed? So let's look down here at our throttle control. Look at that, it's moving back to, it's defaulting back to stop when I push it all the way forward. See? So even if I'm sliding it forward, it's like, nah. Okay, let me put it here forward and then put it forward. Nah, doesn't like that. So what point does it? No, it just wants to stay stuck. So that's not my fault. It's not my fault. For once. All right, let's just try to restart. See if it figures itself out. Come on, figure yourself out. It's usually pretty smart whenever anything like that happens.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Well, we were both wrong. See if Sal, the repairman, got that working for us. Looks good there. Thanks, Sal. Separator. Turn off landing lights. I think they do want your landing lights on, though, during takeoff. Let's just play it safe. Oh yeah, much better. I can't wait to get up in the air and get us into autopilot.
Transporter from dispatch. Fly safe and remember to watch your landing.
All right, and we're off. So now, I can't wait to get to the thermos of coffee, is what I was going to say. I didn't. Too much going on. Okay, let's get to our trusty companion Bushtalk radio and get logged in over there. Let us zoom down into the world where we are. Court and Vermandoise. Partney. Oops. You know. All right, flaps are. Bring up the lights a little bit, shall we? No? What do you mean? No. We're not in live weather. Somehow this is now unavailable, or Like, no, you set the plan, man. This is what you set. We're not going to allow you to change that now. How dare you? This is the flight plan you created. So at the moment, this is not a variable I can mess with, which is strange. So maybe we are a little bit too low. Wanted to make it a good show. But no crashes. I definitely wanted to keep us lower than yesterday. I don't know if there is or if there isn't at the moment a way when you're creating your flight plan from the main menu. If you can, once it's set, go into the nav log and set the altitudes for each leg of the journey. Maybe you can. And if you can, that's something I should definitely be doing. But unless you have good charts. Yeah, well, it gives me something to do. And we usually don't do much now that we've hit that level of using the automation, learning how to use the equipment so that the plane is doing the work. So, sure, struggling through all the learning process to get to this point, in case you don't have any of this available to you, puts an entirely different workload on you. Well, a much heavier one. But once you reach the autopilot stage, from here on up, with even the airliners, it's all computerized, which I don't mind. I mean, you run into a lot of flight simmers who are real pilots, and or some people in general that just don't like automated flying. Like, well, what's the point of that? I'm not going to spend my time in the simulator on using autopilot. Some even say that with the DCS world, combat fighting. I'm like, you're kidding. Really? I would rely heavily on the autopilot as much as possible. I don't bother learning any of that stuff. Really? All the ease of navigation, especially the ease of navigation between points in military aircraft. They usually have everything mapped out. Point A, point B, point C. Oh yeah, I said I wanted to get that thermos and get the coffee. Make sure that we're on the right screen. Good. All right, well, let me pop out. And let you do a little bit of sightseeing, and I'll get that thermos for us. So I decided to live life on the edge today, and I'm gonna pay for it, I'll bet you. One, you're not, if you love coffee, you're not gonna like hearing that, if you're gonna fly, they don't want you to drink coffee. How painful is that? What? Yeah, like it's a diuretic, man. If you want to be a real sky dude, you got to give up coffee. Tea? Well, whatever, man. You're introducing liquids into your system. You got to be really light on the liquids. Everything's about the weight, fatso. So I'm drinking just straight black coffee, living on the edge. Oh yeah, since everything was running good, watch, let me introduce a monkey into the system. I really, now that things are running good, I wanted to introduce as many cars as I can. Like, okay, you're running good. Good, well, if I can. When I was showing this to somebody, they're like, I love the little cars, seeing the little cars running around. I get it. And I wish I could. I wish I had better and better graphics cards, which leads me to the begging part of the show. Please like and subscribe. And once you've done that, you can use Super Chat to donate. If you would like me to subscribe to you, make it easy on both of us. Make it easy on me for sure. Go into the chat room. Speaking of, I haven't brought up the chat room. What am I doing? So confident today was going to be an absolute ace of a show. And I don't even have the chat room open yet. Oh yeah, I was getting my flight log. It's always something. Copy. New. A new text document. Uh-oh. Our first location is going to be the Canadian National Vimy Memorial. Okay. And this says we're at 35. Really? 35.50 into the show already? Wow. Let me note that then and see if these times are right. 35.50. And this is where I'm making an idiot of myself by not having prepared enough. Okay. Well, thank God for that. Nobody's in the chat room. It sucks though. I mean, I'm glad, because if anybody would have been saying anything, I feel like an idiot for, you know, not having getting out there right away and saying hello to people. And so I look to the audience, but then again, there's no audience. I see you. I know you're out there. I see the numbers. You know, you don't really come in for the show, not necessarily your time zone or whatever, but you're watching. And I can't thank you enough. I mean, literally, you're keeping me going. It's more than one person. You are more than one person out there. And thank you so much. I really enjoy doing this, and I would like to keep doing this. So thank you for the likes and subscribes. And if you use social media, the edited versions are starting to pop up now, and I think those are a lot of fun, and people would maybe enjoy those a lot better than these long live versions. I just wanted to see how many cars we could introduce, and it's never enough. It doesn't seem like anything changes when I add the cars. Sometimes. Oh yeah, we're missing something else, of course, right? But I can't do this normally until I was getting this there. Bushtalk. Where are we? There we are. So we just passed Croisilis. We're headed for Heinen sur Cojul, Saint Martin sur Cojul. There we are, zipping past. There are other views which are cool. Satellite view, pretty much what you're saying. But I like the street maps. They have different ones. Topo map. Wow, we're coming up on a big city called Aschencourt. Big. Wow. This is probably the point in our route where we are at our first landmark. Yeah. Sorry, when I was filming something in here the other day, I blew out all my custom controls, so normally it's just a control to get to this view. So yes, we're coming up on our first landmark point, the Canadian National Vimy Memorial. So this isn't a Bushtalk point landmark today. This is actually something the simulator pointed out. Rockland Court. Anyway, here, cheers. Have a bit of coffee. Did I mention it was black? Yep, living on the edge. At this age, that's living on the edge. And there it is right in front of us, Canadian National Vimy Memorial. But nothing in it, is in Bushtalk about it. So we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Google it.
Vimy Ridge, a line of high ground west of the village of Vimy and north of the town of Arras, is the site of one of a significant battle of the First World War, especially for the nation of Canada. By early 1917, the Western Front had long settled into stagnant trench warfare, with little significant movement over its length through the whole of Belgium and France. The Allies formed a plan for British forces to stage an offensive around Arras, largely to relieve German pressure on French positions such as Verdun to the south. As the first phase of this plan, Canadian forces were to take Vimy Ridge, some of the highest land in the area, commanding views over the expected Arras battlefield. Despite the Dugin positions and positional advantage of Germany, the Canadians formed and executed a plan to capture the ridge using innovative tactics. The infantry was supported by a creeping barrage, in which artillery fire is directed just ahead of the foot soldiers, who lightened their gear in order to make the best time across the exposed plain below the ridge. The result was one of the few times that the trench stalemate was broken during the middle years of the war, with the Canadian forces seizing the ridge, nearby villages, and smaller areas of high ground over a 3-day period. The attack was also supported extensively by aerial reconnaissance and became the scene of large aerial battles. Manfred von Richthofen Flying Circus, Jaster 11, was moved to this area, and it was the main site of the famous Bloody April of 1917 in the days leading up to the Vimy Ridge attack and the Arras offensive more generally. Flying low over the ridge, you can see the terrain features that made it so tactically important, but also some of the features that made it possible to capture and hold. The ridge slopes relatively gradually as you approach it from the west, but then drops off steeply to the east, which made it difficult for the Germans to move reinforcements and made the ridge easier to hold against a counterattack from the east than it was to take from the west. The success of the Canadians in taking the ridge was not without grim cost. About 3,600 Allied soldiers were killed, with similar casualties on the German side. Today, the largest Canadian war memorial outside Canada stands on top of the ridge, although it is represented by an autogen hotel block in the stock flight simulator scenery.
Wow. "35 minutes after the hour. Cheers. Here's to your health, well-being, and prosperity. Thanks for tuning in. No matter when you tune in. Okay. Let us reset the camera, drag the drone back to us. Come on, drone. All right. Now it's right behind us again. And if I'm marking the time correctly today, it says it's 35:51. So let's make a mark. It's not a Mark Twain. It's just, it kind of, I mean, it's in a weird way, it's a digital Twain. So Mark Digital Twain, I guess. Did I just coin something new? So the next point is Citadel of Lille, and that was where the cover art comes from. So still looks like the flaps are down from here. Okay, don't need our landing lights on now. Here we go. Six minutes and 31 seconds to the next landmark. So in the edited version, I'll probably, once I zoom out here, add the Skydude logo and speed up the time to like 4 up to 16, depending on what's underneath us, and find some really cool music to play. So good, starting to see some vehicles. Good. More, please. So easily distracted. Squirrel. So speed things up, add some cool music, and do little videos. And then a new thought I had on that is to actually add even better graphics that I create. Try to make more music video montages out of some of the stretches that we do in these live versions. Oh, but there's a whole policy about music playing now during live streaming, which I don't understand yet in time. I hope they work it out. I've got my fingers crossed. And then I wouldn't have to do what I'm doing now and not having any music, really. I mean, the bed music at the moment, but hopefully that won't ever be a problem. I'm having some existential dread about it, though. Even bed music, because it's constantly looping, right? So if if he ever puts it on YouTube and it isn't and I don't retain my exclusive rights, then every time it plays, it gets halved, like the ad revenue. So it's like I'll be in there one time as the uploader, and then 1,000 splits in ad revenue. So basically, it would just take everything at that point on all these live streams. What a conundrum. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what I come up with for this bit here. Ah, you know what? That's an unexpected mark. I'm going to mark that at... And if I got it right, we're at 4013. Okay. We just passed over something that looked interesting. and it wasn't a landmark. Trying to get back to the drone. There we go. Yeah. Starting to get the eye of the eagle, where my eyes are moving fast enough to pay attention to what the heck's going on below me. So I don't want to say, well, it's just a church, but it looks like a monastery, and they used to be kind of sealed off, like you couldn't. Oh, there's kind of the door. I guess they still do have. Pretty sealed. So that's their inner courtyard, that little tiny place. Not enough space, man. Like, no. You will pray. And then have your smoke break out there. And that's all you get. Where are we? We are on the outskirts of that big town, now Provin. There it goes up. Let's go back to open street. Church Provin. Bring back the drone. Do. Maybe putting the cars in was just a tiny bit of much. Because we were getting a little micro lagging going on there. Two minutes and 23 seconds. Pretty. Everything from Spain to this point has been big sigh, pretty. Deep breath. Sigh, pretty. Wow. 56 seconds. Why are you turning away now? Get up to it. What are you doing? Close, but it's not taking us right to him. All right. Mark time. Mark Twain, 4708. Let's just hope these are right today. All right, we need to turbocharge the drone. All right, R2, show them what you can do. All right, this is where our cover art is from. Wow. Now I have to slow down. Drone. Good job, R2. Still pretty zippy on the climb. All right, slow you down a little bit more. Yeah, it's better. So in my role playing, in my brain when I was working out the cover art, I'm like, let me add. Adobe's got this new generative art thing, which I think it's not very smart. I don't like what it's coming up with, but today was kind of an exception. It kind of did something, not what I wanted at all, but it was, we got somewhere. So I threw this little person down in the corner pointing at it. So in the role play part of the story, the Belgian, or still French, whatever. I don't want to say it Illuminati, but something Illuminati-like, right? So Kinneas, the Skydude, decides to hone in on this place in his travels and just start zooming in, and they don't like it very much. They don't like the fact that Kinneas is taking the time to delve into the Citadel. Wow, it is too. Look at the walls on this side. They got access to their own little waterway down here. He's discovered our waterway, sir. I can see it's going someplace, but pretty... Does it make it out here? Ah, I see. Something there. So we're looking for an out point. It looks like... No. Unless it's like old Three Musketeer style where it goes underneath. Like there's an entryway in the sidewall somewhere. Unless they're just getting out that way. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to check it around. Check it out this side. We'll have to check out this side of the waterway. It's a nice moat, so they've got a bridge. Nice gardens down there. Wow. My current bandwidth. What? My current bandwidth too low to properly stream photogrammetry. See, it's the Illuminati. I have plenty of bandwidth. See? I knew it. I can feel it. I can feel you. Let me break out a D20 and see how this is going to end between us. Something I haven't done on this show before, so hang on. Actually, let me see what you ponder that. Let me see if I can find an online dice generator. D20 dice. I should get to add my variables in there. Just random dice generator. D&D dice roller. Well, I was years ago. I don't know how many levels I've gained since then, but I'm at least an 8th level Kinneas. At least. I'm probably closer to 16th level Kinneas at this point. So choose my dice. That's a 1d6. So how do we change the dice? There's a d20. 1d20 plus... Well, there's the strength bonus. So, let's see. What is this going to be? A wisdom check? In which case, yeah, I guess we would kind of just be... No, this is more straight up intelligence. We're not dealing with magic or anything. We're just dealing with espionage and intelligence stuff. So, all right, we'll just add a +1 to it. Let's roll the dice. I got a 15. And you think, well, you didn't put it up on the screen. So how do we know? Well, let me try to open a screen to it. YouTube record. The window capture. And change the source to dice roll. So you can fit that in the window. Yeah. I press this button, say I set 1d20 +1 the total, and I hit roll. So whatever it is you have planned, you Illuminati type thing, who were getting mad at me for checking out your Citadel and exploring the waterways. Whatever it is, I've come out on top, and that's just the way it's going to be. I win this time. So let's go look at our settings, see why photogrammetry would be having a problem right now. Could be just stuff going on in the lines, you know. Squirrels chewing on lines somewhere. But let's look at data. I keep the bandwidth pretty low because I'm streaming, so I'll go ahead and up that to 40. And then we'll go back to data and make sure we'll toggle photogrammetry. Oh, we've got kind of a big talk when you do. That is where we're at. Lille. They call it the Arc de Citadel out here. And in Microsoft Flight Sim, look at it, it looks like a star. And then you see the repeating star on the outer walls. Okay, here's the moat. So they've got water access this way, comes around, and they come out by that bridge. So I went this way. Looks like they've got... Yeah, it does cut out. Comes out right underneath that bridge on the other side. Lambersart. Way Blanc. Alright, well, let's get back to our course. The next thing... our next point in the flight plan is the Staud Pierre Mauroy. So, a stadium? Bring the drone back. Come along, R2. No, it says it's only 1 minute and 6 seconds away. Well, that's nice. Yeah, ready?
How much should good car insurance cost you a month?
Oh my.
$80?
I want to see if this time syncs up with this one. Alright, we are here at the Staud.
The Staud Pierre Mauroy is a multi-use retractable roof stadium in Villeneuve-d'Ascq, France, that opened in August 2012. It has a seating capacity of 50,186 and is the home stadium of LOSC Lille. Initially named Grand Stade Lille Métropole, the stadium was renamed on the 21st of June 2013, just after the death of the former mayor of Lille and former Prime Minister of France Pierre Mauroy. On the 28th of May 2010, France was officially chosen to organize the Euro 2016. Martine Aubry, who succeeded Pierre Mauroy at the head of LCMU and a big supporter of LOSC and the Grand Stade, expressed her wish to see the Grand Stade given a prominent amount of competition for the upcoming competition.
One moment. Uh, 101. Can't even get the time on this. I'm trying to making when I was doing my timestamps yesterday, they all came out wrong. Once I started going back to edit things, then I don't know where I got off on the time. So I was checking to see either way. Okay. Let's go play some soccer. Or you guys call it football over here. But while we're here, we might as well have a match, right? I have another reason to use our dice generator. Okay, it's you and me, your team versus my team. Whoa. Eat a hot dog while we're here. All right, your team versus my team. And I've got a good dex, and I'm a pretty good leader as a fighter. So we'll go to our... Can we go to our dice generator again? Do. Now when I click on it, it's probably going to go away because it's the auto scene switchers on. But I'll leave it at 1d20. And then I'm going to add a +3 for our team and dexterity. So it switches back over there. But... There it is in the corner. A little window action. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So my team versus your team, 1d20 +3 for my team, and we're going to roll the dice and see how this soccer match between us goes. A 14, so kind of even. I don't know what the dungeon master would do with the 14. It's above a 10. So I'd probably say I won. Of course, I'm going to say that. Yeah, so let's just say if it was a DC 10, even if it was a DC 11, 12, or 13, giving yourself +3, which would have made us evenly matched, I still came out on top. Okay, so that's resolved. I win the soccer match. Insert balloon graphics and partying going on there. We need a beer. And I already got the hot dog. Thank you for hosting the game. I really appreciate it. You've got a lovely stadium here. All right, R2, take us back to the plane. Next spot on the journey. Tournai Cathedral. And that says 3 minutes and 18 seconds for that destination. Check our winds. Whoa. We've got a 4-knot wind pushing us, so we might get there a little bit sooner. Computer's pretty good about getting that, averaging that in. 255. Love cars. Still feels very medieval. Alright, I think the cars might be. Yesterday we weren't lagging this hard. I'll have to drop the cars down a little bit. Overzealous. See if we can get rid of some of the stutter with 50% cars. Seems a bit smoother. Smoothie. .208 here in the afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for stopping in. At whatever point you stopped in time and space. Hope you're doing well. There's a nice church down there. On Bushtalk, let's find out where we're at. Bertain. On the Blondine, the Chasse de Lille, Chaussee de Lille. Mark Twain. .48 seconds. There it is. At least this one's bringing us a lot closer.
The Notre Dame Cathedral in Tournai lies at the heart of the old city not far from the left bank of the Escaut. The present building is not homogeneous with regard to its chronology and conception, but the result of 3 coherent projects, completed and still distinguishable, the Romanesque nave and the transept, and the Gothic choir. The construction of the first 2 was for the greater part carried out in one go during the early 12th century. No major modification was made to the building during the following centuries, limiting its adaptations to the times. It is difficult to associate the cathedral with just one influence or school, but in its design and its elevations it presents layouts that influenced the development of early Gothic art. In particular, it is distinguished by a Romanesque nave of impressive dimensions and richly sculptured, and by a transept with 5 towers that indicate the beginnings of Gothic art. The choir, rebuilt in the 13th century, is of pure Gothic style. The conception of the nave illustrates a great originality with several important innovations. The transposition to the exterior of the running course of the tall windows, the rise to 4 levels and the double western door make the nave a unicum in the history of Romanesque architecture, while the sobriety of the ornamental elements appears to be due to the weight of Carolingian traditions, particularly sensitive in the early Low Countries. The master builder has thus executed a remarkable synthesis between the most innovative aspects of the architecture of his time, although taking some liberties, and the local traditions.
So, this looks almost identical to what we were looking at yesterday. Looks almost exactly the same. But that one had more of the flying buttresses right up on this side too. So they had kept building it up. Sangria Familia? No, it was a different place. But very, very, very similar in style. That's pretty. I want to hang out here for a second. Very strongholdy in the front, or whatever this side is. Those buildings off to the side. That one's built. That really colorful one is built right into it, like a transition. They've got their own moats. Pardon me. So very much spiritual, but very much at the same time could be used in for stronghold. Look at all the different little moats and buildings. Still up to here even. Or I'm just seeing wrong. Yeah, seeing shadow. Either way, very impressive. Very impressive. People are like, why don't we build like that anymore? I don't know. Really. All right, R2. Come back. Next spot, Brussels. And we'll get an update here in a moment. As we pass this waypoint, there we go. 14 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay. We're not going to clip this one over here, but what we do have is... No, that's an airport.
German used during World War II. Shortly after its capture, the airfield was turned over to the Luftwaffe, and Chievres became a major air base during the Battle of France. On the 2nd of June, Jagdgeschwader 26 moved Messerschmitt Bf 109E fighters to the airfield, and on the 9th of June Kampfschwader 30 moved Junkers Ju 88A attack bombers to the field. Both of these units were heavily engaged in combat operations with the French and the British Expeditionary Force in France. KG-26 moved into France within a few days, while KG-30 remained at Chievres until September, taking part in the Battle of Britain. In addition to the Luftwaffe, the Corpo Aereo Italiano stationed Fiat BR.20M Cicogna and Kant Z.1007 bis bombers at the base on the 27th of September, also taking part in the Battle of Britain. The Italians received heavy casualties, and by December 1940 they were recalled to Italy. On September 3, Allied troops arrived and assumed command of the airbase. Once in American hands, combat engineers of the 9th Engineering Command 846th Engineer Aviation Regiment repaired the damaged airfield and applied numerous patches to the 2 concrete runways and taxiways of the field. It was declared operationally ready for combat units on the 16th of September, only a few days after its capture from German forces, being designated as Advanced Landing Ground A84 or Chievres Airfield. Although operationally usable, Chievres was a wrecked base from the numerous Allied air attacks and what was blown up by the Germans as they withdrew. The Americans made do with what could be repaired, with the 843d Engineer Aviation Regiment moving in what equipment was necessary to conduct combat operations. In October 1944, the P-47D Thunderbolts of the USAF 9th Air Force 368th Fighter Group and 8th Air Force P-51 Mustangs of the 361st Fighter Group were stationed at Chievres. During the Battle of the Bulge, the base was also used by the Hawker Typhoons of 123 Wing RAF. In March 1945, the 352d Fighter Group, equipped with P-51D Mustangs, were stationed at the base. By late 1940, Chievres had been taken off operational status by the Luftwaffe. The Germans found the airfield construction work incomplete, and began rebuilding and expanding the airfield. Construction began and two 1,800 meters length concrete runways were laid down, extensive taxiways and dispersal pads, and a support facility consisting of maintenance shops, barracks, warehouses and hangars. The base became operational again in March 1941.
All right, up next, Lessines. Well, let's see this. Wow, mining. Worry? There was something else down there near that airbase. Now that we're passing over to Lessines, and we have no points ahead of us, directly south of us.
Pari Daiza is a privately owned zoo and botanical garden located in Bushtalk, near Arth, in the province of Hainaut, Belgium. The 65-hectare large animal theme park is located on the site of the former Cistercian Cambron Abbey and is home to over 4,000 animals. The name is taken from the Avestan word Pari Daiza, which is the source of the Persian word paradise. Pari Daiza is owned and operated by Pari Daiza Belgium SA, a limited company previously listed on NYSE Alternext Brussels. It is a member of the European Association of Zoos and Aquaria, and participates in the European Endangered Species Programme.
All right. Yeah. So in the YouTube studio, it has the time at 12442, and in OBS, it's 13740, and I think that's where I was getting my times from yesterday. Valzel. 138, 125. Or it's going to be 138. Oetingen, Oetingen. A little too much looking at the maps down here. And not enough of this. Wow, look at that scarred piece of whatever. Dang cars, I think, are lagging us out. That's a bummer. I wanted to run smooth. Let's finding exception was something today. Even with the cars knocked down. I mean, we're running pretty good. We're running pretty good. But you never want to see these little micro stutters. Yesterday it ran beautifully. So let me think about something else we can possibly do. Might help out. Take a moment for that one to kick in. Dude. Because you don't really want to start messing with anything else. Just a heavy loaded area. I did not preload today's maps. 1 minute and 40 seconds to our next destination. Brussels National there. Forced. So 129.12.
Brussels, or Dutch, Brussels, officially the Brussels Capital Region, is a region of Belgium comprising, including the city of Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium. The Brussels Capital Region is located in the central portion of the country and is a part of both the French Community of Belgium and the Flemish Community, but is separate from the Flemish region and the Walloon region. Brussels is the most densely populated and the richest region in Belgium in terms of GDP per capita. It covers 162 square kilometers, a relatively small area compared to the two other regions, and has a population of over 1.2 million. The 5 times larger metropolitan area of Brussels comprises over 2.5 million people, which makes it the largest in Belgium. It is also part of a large conurbation extending towards Ghent, Antwerp, Leuven, and Walloon-Brabant, home to over 5 million people. Brussels grew from a small rural settlement on the River Sena to become an important city region in Europe. Since the end of the Second World War, it has been a major center for international politics and home to numerous international organizations, politicians, diplomats and civil servants. Brussels is the de facto capital of the European Union, as it hosts a number of principal EU institutions, including its administrative, legislative, executive, political, and legislative branches. Its name is sometimes used metonymically to describe the EU and its institutions. The Secretariat of the Benelux and headquarters of NATO are also located in Brussels. As the economic capital of Belgium and one of the top financial centers of Western Europe with Euronext Brussels, it is classified as an Alpha Global City. Brussels is a hub for rail, road and air traffic, sometimes earning the moniker Crossroads of Europe. The Brussels Metro is the only rapid transit system in Belgium. In addition, both its airport and railway stations are the largest and busiest in the country. Historically Dutch-speaking, Brussels saw a language shift to French from the late 19th century. The Brussels capital region is officially bilingual in French and Dutch, even though French is now the lingua franca with over 90% of the inhabitants being able to speak it. Brussels is also increasingly becoming multilingual. English is spoken as a second language by nearly a third of the population, and many migrants and expatriates speak other languages as well. Brussels is known for its cuisine and gastronomy, as well as its historical and architectural landmarks. Some of them are registered as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Main attractions include its historic Grand Place, Monarchan Peace, Atomium, and cultural institutions such as La Monnaie/de Munt and the Museums of Art and History. Due to its long tradition of Belgian comics, Brussels is also hailed as a capital of the comic strip.
Really? That I did not know. Wow. Love those ramps going up on this side. What an impressive structure. That's what everybody should have as a house. Nice grand walkway. Big doors and a bunch of rooms. I'm protesting right at the moment. Just for a moment here. I'm completely protesting this tiny home idea. It's ridiculous, and we need to go big again. This should be the average square footage of everybody. Look at how much land that there is that we're not using up on this planet. And that's where I'll completely end that. That viewpoint. Okay, the next is the Atomium. All right, R2, get back to the plane. Okay. So, Atomium next, right? Let's see here. Sorry about the draw distances. It's a very populated city, so it's having a tough time with this mid-level computer.
Midi or Zuidertron, both meaning South Tower, is a 38-story, 148 meters skyscraper constructed between 1962 and 1967 in Brussels, Belgium. The tower is the tallest building in Belgium, and was the tallest in the European Economic Community when it was built, until it was surpassed by Tour Montparnasse in Paris in 1972.
Yeah,
Tour du Midi
broad
stands
distance is horrible.
adjacent to Brussels South Railway Station. The building's facade was reclad in 1995 to 1996 with unitized glass panels using double glass Solabel silver, and it can accommodate about 2,500 office workers.
Oh yeah, so this computer, please like and subscribe.
The JULIEN Cafe
Yep.
is a bar in Brussels,
A bar.
Belgium, known
We're gonna
for its
skip that
long
one.
beer list, standing at 2004 brands in January 2004.
What is that building over
as
there?
recorded in the Guinness Book of Records. On offer are beers from over 60 countries, including many Belgian beers. The bar is located in the small alley called Impasse de la Fidelité/Gertrude's-Gang, only a couple of hundred meters from the Grand Place. The Jeannette Peace statue is across the street from the entrance. The bar's name comes from the beer Delirium Tremens, whose pink elephant symbol also decorates the cafe's entrance. Delirium Cafe has been expanding internationally, opening franchises in Rio de Janeiro, in Tokyo, Sao Paulo, and Warsaw, Lisbon, Toulouse, and Reims, Leesburg, Virginia, US, Strasbourg, and Kuala Lumpur.
That's what we should be flying to. Yep.
Mini Europe is a miniature park located in Brupark, at the foot of the Atomium, in Brussels, Belgium. Mini Europe has reproductions of monuments in the European Union and other countries within the continent of Europe on display, at a scale of 1/25. Roughly 80 cities and 350 buildings are represented. Mini Europe receives 350,000 visitors per year and has a turnover of €4 million. The park contains live-action models such as trains, mills, an erupting Mount Vesuvius, and cable cars. A guide gives the details on all the monuments. At the end of the visit, the Spirit of Europe exhibition gives an interactive overview of the European Union in the form of multimedia games. The park is built on an area of 24,000 square meters. The initial investment was of €10 million in 1989, on its inauguration by then Prince Philip of Belgium.
So, if I've got the location right and what we're looking at, then this whole ground, all these grounds down here, it's a giant, they call it a park, but are these apartments, or is the mini Europe inside these things? Or we're over here. These look like, sporting fields. Wimbledon, and oh, here we go. I was completely in the wrong place. Mini Europe. So, unless somebody's created a model, this is the best we get for it. Okay, let me mark the time here on this Mini Europe thing here. Um, 38:27. I think that was the National Basilica of the Sacred Heart. Or King... Yeah, that was the National Basilica of the Sacred Heart. And we'll go ahead and mark this over here as the... back to it here. The Atomium. $139.13. Got some texture shimmering going on. Something it doesn't like. It's having a tough time getting that ground layer or whatever. I'm not sure what it is, but ignore that. Concentrate on the grooviness that is that thing. But we've got the biggest balls of them all. We'll just that's creating electrical forces down there. That's what's going on. Nice little garden or walkways up to it. All right, and then we have the stadium. King Baudouin Stadium. Give me a minute while I'm mark time here. 103. Just go 141. And we've got to cut it and paste it below Atomium now. 141. In Baudouin Stadium. All right. So how about another match between your team and my team? I'll take this side. Oh, I left the dice generator thing's been up this whole time. Okay, well, I've got to remember to turn it off this next time. All right, so same. We're just going to keep using the same dice. It starts as a DC 10. I'm going to add 3. I'm going to go ahead and, you can add up to 3 for yourself for being dexterous. And let's see how we do. Come on, big bucks, no whammies. 6. We lost. We lost heartily. Oh, we lost that one in a big bad way. So Kinneas and his team, we're buying the beers and we're buying the hot dogs. Wah, 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 the walk of shame. Wah. And everybody laughed at us. Thank you, King, and your stadium for hosting my brutal defeat here at your fine place. All right, R2. Let's lick our wounds. Get out of here. Where are we going next? Next, once this updates, after we pass this point here, Six minutes and 41 seconds to our next destination, which should be the Palais de Justice in Antwerp, where the diamond jewelers come from. Right? Oh, great. Diamond jewelers. We'll see. We'll roll to see if we can have an encounter. Kinneas can have an encounter or with a great diamond merchant. And see if I can't score some of score us getting some diamonds. So, one for you, one for me, at least one for everybody. That sounds like a good encounter to have. That's what we'll be looking for. I don't know anything else about Antwerp. If you know anything, throw it out in the chat room. What kind of encounter would you want? But we've got 5 minutes and 42 seconds to come up with something. Get it in before we get there. So the Palais de Justice Antwerp and the Cathedral of Our Lady of Antwerp. The Museum Aan De Stroom, Antwerp Docks. Then we have Approach Landing and Neofly. Get paid. That is next on our list here. Oh, this is impressive. It's like dock facility plus Amazon. Might not be, but why not? That looks like a giant dock right there. I'll bet you if we pull it up on the street map, it's Amazon. I don't know. Being lazy today and not pulling it up. Just a click away. I'm just gonna leave myself believing it. It's all Amazon. These guys too. It's like a nice school down there. Yep. But it's European Amazon. They're worse. I shouldn't say worse. You know, shipping happens. People, the world's in a good spot. People moving stuff around the way that they're moving stuff around. Remember,
Fort Breendonk is a former military installation at Breendonk, near Mechelen, in Belgium, which served as a Nazi prison camp during the German occupation of Belgium.
It's not Amazon at all.
Fort Breendonk was originally built for the Belgian army between 1906-13 as part of the second ring of defences of the National Redoubt protecting the important port city of Antwerp. It was covered by a 5-metre thick layer of soil for defence against bombings, a water-filled moat, and measured 656 by 984 feet. During World War II, the fort was requisitioned by the Germans as a prison camp for detaining Belgian political dissidents, captured resistance members and Jews. Although technically a prison rather than a concentration camp, the fort was infamous for its prisoners' poor living conditions and for the use of torture. Most prisoners who were detained at the camp were later transferred to larger concentration camps in Eastern Europe. Of the 3,590 prisoners known to have been imprisoned at Breendonk, 303 died or were executed within the fort itself, but as many as 1,741 died subsequently in other camps before the end of the war. Today, the site is a national memorial and museum which is open to the public.
Nope, not Amazon at all. A fort in a prison camp. You know, war does horrible things to people and makes people mean, to say the least. Come back to the plane, R2. $324. Wow. Having a house anywhere around these waters seems like it'd be a lot of fun. Those rail lines, highway. Huge roundabout in the roads there. A giant boulevard. Big boulevard crossing there. A lot of big business. Gotta have those big roads to move all that Amazon. Their water treatment plant. That looks like a giant airport or port. What the heck was that? More rail, maybe? Shipping? Wow. Wow. It's those diamond jewelers, man. They must have a lot of diamonds. I don't even think we're at the big docks yet. Yeah, those are up ahead still, I think.
Antwerp, Dutch, Antwerpen, French,
Okay.
Anvers is a city in Belgium and the capital of Antwerp province in the Flemish region. With a population of 520,504, it is the most populous city proper in Belgium, and with a metropolitan population of around 1,200,000 people, it is the second largest metropolitan region after Brussels. Antwerp is on the River Scheldt, linked to the North Sea by the river's Westerschelde estuary. It is about 40 kilometers north of Brussels, and about 15 kilometers south of the Dutch border. The port of Antwerp is one of the biggest in the world, ranking second in Europe and within the top 20 globally. The city is also known for its diamond industry and trade. Both economically and culturally, Antwerp is and has long been an important city in the Low Countries, especially before and during the Spanish Fury and throughout and after the subsequent Dutch Revolt. Antwerp was also the place of the world's oldest stock exchange building, originally built in 1531 and rebuilt in 1872. The inhabitants of Antwerp are nicknamed Sinjoren, after the Spanish honorific señor or French seigneur, lord, referring to the Spanish nobleman who ruled the city in the 17th century. The city hosted the 1920 Summer Olympics. During World War II, the city was an important strategic target because of its port. It was occupied by Germany in May 1940 and liberated by the British 11th Armoured Division on the 4th of September 1944. After this, the Germans attempted to destroy the port of Antwerp, which was used by the Allies to bring new material ashore. Thousands of Rinbot, V-1 and V-2 missiles were fired, causing severe damage to the city but failed to destroy the port due to poor accuracy.
All right, now this is the Justice Department. Let me mark the time here, 1:28. Palais de Justice, Antwerp. Go to work, aren't you? Bad boys, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do when they come for you in Antwerp? Dude, I got to go to the coolest place. They had all these like spikes on the roof and glass everywhere, and it was long. Like 3 times long. That was the only drag, but it was a cool place. All right. Now it should be Cathedral of Our Lady at Antwerp.
The Cathedral Our Lady is a Roman Catholic cathedral in Antwerp, Belgium. Today's see of the Diocese of Antwerp started in 1352 and, although the first stage of construction was ended in 1521, has never been completed. In Gothic style, its architects were Jan and Peter Appelmans. It contains a number of significant works by the Baroque painter Peter Paul Rubens, as well as paintings by artists such as Otto van Veen, Jacob de Backer and Martin de Vaux. The belfry of the cathedral is included in the Belfries of Belgium and France entry in the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
They were getting into their buttresses back here. Letting them fly all over the place. Very reminiscent of the other one. I wonder if they got a chicken on top too. No, but they got that groovy clock. Not up close. Don't get too close. Let us remain groovy. A chicken. That one doesn't look... No, that's not really a chicken this time. Like a double-headed chicken. All right. There's that museum right up ahead. Yeah, museum. I thought I had it here. You okay? It looks like an homage to Minecraft. And these are the Antwerp Docks I wanted to look at. I mean, just all this area, not necessarily docks, just all these waterways coming together, making it the perfect place for all the shipping. Okay, I wanted to see if we could have an encounter and score us all some. We want to have an encounter, see if we can have an encounter with a famous Belgian diamond person of intrigue. And I don't have a high intelligence enough to, I'll give ourselves, nah, not with these people. So we'll just do a D20 and we'll make this a DC 15. I know you're probably thinking it should be higher, but we'll go with the DC 15. So we've got to get higher than a 15. And we have an encounter with the infamous diamond person in Antwerp, and everybody gets diamonds. So concentrate. You want the diamonds, I want the diamonds. Let's roll it now. A total fumble. Doesn't matter what world you live in. When you roll the 1, we lose, and we lose big. So they just laughed. They laughed at us and told us to leave their domain. Man, I feel bad. I really wanted some diamonds for us. I'm all sad now. Don't like it when the dice don't go our way. Yeah, look at all this. What do you need? We got it. We got it. I forgot where we put it, but I know we got it. We got one of everything. Where's Julien? Julien! He's got the paper. He knows where everything is at. If it wasn't for Julien. Nah, the kid doesn't even use a computer. All right, pause right there. See if we can score some diamonds from Julien. A 13, we don't make our... But he's not infamous. So it just goes back to a DC 10. So we've made it. But what are the... Okay, so with a 13, we made it. But now let's roll like quality. And let's put these at some negatives. We go negative. Can't go negative. Just see what we get anyway. Just roll it. A 3. So we all get some diamonds, but they have no value whatsoever. I mean, they're a 3. But we've got something. We got some diamonds. I had to make it happen for us. So thank goodness Julien popped in my head, giving us another chance for an encounter. Why I can't engage the unpause outside. That's weird. I can pause. Oh, now it's working. Okay, as long as it's working. All right, next. That would have been... $158. Let's just do that. All right, the next is our approach. We're done. We're basically there. All right, 3 minutes and 6 seconds to our arrival. Let's contact air traffic control. And we're looking for EHWO Woensdrecht. We're actually crossing back into Germany right here. So we did France, Belgium, Antwerp. Was Antwerp in Belgium? And then, see, I don't know what these are all about. And then Woensdrecht in Germany. Yeah, traveled across a couple countries today. Enter left traffic runway 25. Didn't let us acknowledge it, so we're just gonna go with it. No tower, really? Well, no, that's tower. Well, whatever. Runway 25. $139. I do believe I see it. I'll finish up this coffee. Short enough that the coffee wasn't a hindrance. It's starting to be. I mean, but by that time we'll be landed. Okay. Turn off the autopilot. We're crossing over the middle of it. 25. Gotcha. They wanted right hand, right? Did they say right entry? What did they say? Left traffic. It would be helpful if I had my joystick in front of me here. Approach at 207. 26. Oh. Duh. Spatial awareness. At least I didn't cross over the island too far. Our crosswind turn, right? No, this is base turn. So that was downwind turn. This is crosswind turn. Then the upwind turn. Usually a good time to turn is when you see it over your shoulder, the end of the runway. Once it passes your left shoulder. You know, if you feel comfortable, that's whenever you really want to, but go ahead and I made that off tight. Nice long runway though. Forgiving. Oh, it was pretty good. Come on.
Taxi to parking and shut down your engine.
It's more like a walkway. Yep, coming in way too fast. But I really wanted to see my friends over here. I'm gonna sneak up behind them. Dude, you came from... You're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, I know. coffee was starting to kick in. You see? All this heavy French food, you know? Aha! Surprised you guys. Oh. All that, and I forgot to put my landing lights on and my taxi lights on, so some negative marks there. Separator was probably out the whole time, yep. Just not a stellar day as far as aircraft operations.
Cargo unloading.
All right, I'm gonna see if everybody was super happy with us. I'm gonna give us a +3 to charisma.
Transporter from dispatch. Everything seems okay. The customer looks happy. Mission ended.
All right, and we'll make it a DC 13. Oh, I shouldn't have made. I should have just left it as a 10. So we did all right, but we didn't super impress them today. We didn't beat the 11. That was nice. Wasn't so busy. Last one, couple of ones, just stuff everywhere. Not that there wasn't stuff everywhere, just cut out a lot of the examine every little city that we pass. OCD-ness of yesterday's, maybe the day before. But it was sure neat seeing all the beaches at, you know, all the Normandy landing sites. We didn't see, we didn't ever come across Utah. I wonder where Utah was. All right. So we'll pick it up from here tomorrow. We scored a couple of diamonds, some small, you know, not really expensive diamonds from Julien, who knew where he knows where everything is in the whole world. And he was kind. Where the big infamous guy from Antwerp just laughed at us, and it was humiliating. We rolling a fumble. Oh, our soccer games won one today. We lost one today at the stadiums. That was cool. We ran into some Illuminati, some shady Illuminati types who weren't real happy with the Citadel, investigating their Citadel very well. And it turned into an incident, but the dice were in our favor, and we got out of that one pretty good. Pretty adventurous day overall. And we'll see you tomorrow.